started, so we can kind of keep on schedule. Are there any, well, there is one change to the agenda. We're going to remove Megan's action item on health benefits. You want to explain that, or?
Well, yeah, we've just received a late quote that we've just been reviewing yesterday, and I think we need to do our due diligence and look at that before we make a final recommendation. This recommendation still looks pretty good, but we just want to take our time and really dig into this other one to make sure we're bringing you guys the right recommendation. So we would recommend that you amend the agenda to remove that item for today's meeting.
With that said, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda with that one item removed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the amended agenda. If there's no other changes, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Minutes of the previous meeting.
Move to approve as presented.
I do have one question. Tony, did you get a chance, you know, we talked about comparisons from these. Have you had a chance to do that?
Yeah, I emailed him.
He emailed that out.
Yeah,
so-
you didn't get them?
I'll have to look.
Yeah,
Okay.
he did.
Yeah, like the day after, I think, or maybe that afternoon.
It was pretty.
I think it was that afternoon.
I went through my email last night, and maybe I didn't get it. Okay.
You're on the bad list.
I probably, that explains it.
I'm not getting Spencer's emails now.
Your others came through, yes, you know,
Yesterday?
Yeah, I saw those.
Let me I'll double check,
Okay,
I'll get back.
if you would, please.
Yeah,
Thank
he
you.
copied me, so
Okay.
I know
All right. Yeah.
we discussed it, but I'm sorry you didn't get it.
Okay,
But
thank you.
We made the attempt.
So I will second that motion.
Okay.
Yep.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. There's no other discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We have some guests with us this morning. Mayor, it's always nice to have you. Do you have anything that you'd like to,
Nothing for me this morning, just visiting, appreciate everything you guys do.
Cindy, good morning.
Good morning. And with me, I guess I'll step forward, sorry. Where do I go that way? I believe you guys received, potentially, Jeff, did you circulate the email
I
that
did.
I had sent around?
Yes.
So, I am making a request as the Economic Development Director with MSDC to request abatement of water, sewer, electric, and internet utilities at the address of 181 West Arrow Street. There is a startup company known as Municipal Ventures that is housed in this facility that is part of and a piece of fitting into what we call our Corey grant. So MSDC is a recipient of a Center on Research Innovation grant that is designed to bring basically our economic climate up to, I guess, snuff when we're taking a look at like technological jobs and things of that nature. So Municipal Ventures is in part a gaming company that has traditional gaming as well as applications on your phone. So you know, when you're bored and you're sitting on your cell phone, you might be playing an app that's on your phone. They are also designing gaming apps as well. This startup company has been a customer of MMU for a couple of months, so there's some history in terms of what their utility usage has been. But additionally, they're getting ready to ramp up to the manufacturing stage. So this is going to be a very critical time for this particular startup and probably one of the more expensive times for this particular startup. They have approached me and asked about abating utilities for a period of 6 months. So this abatement would last until May of 2023. And so that you can see one of the faces of the organization, this particular startup is actually something that I have been working with very closely as the MSDC Executive Director, because I am trying to incorporate Missouri Valley Community or Missouri Valley College into basically this pipeline of economic development that we're experiencing, trying to grow our own and then keep our own right here in Marshall. So keeping the very talented kids that are coming in and through MVC and trying to keep them here in Marshall, keep their business ideas, and also encourage relationships with faculties and professors at the college here in a way that we haven't necessarily done in the past. Ultimately, the goal would be to bring a small business incubator, and really this particular startup is a way for me to show the community and to show you all what is possible when we do a hands-on approach with startup companies. Many people don't realize this, but in the first 5 years of a startup's life, about 70% of startups fail. And according to government statistics, Department of Labor, the reason that they fail is because they don't have enough hands-on approach and support. So we're hoping that this particular company continues to thrive, last. And so we're asking for just a little bit of assistance from MMU for a period of 6 months. And I have Austin Kostalnik with me. Austin is one of the design teams that works with NERPL. He is also the SGA president for Missouri Valley College, so he is actually a face of the company. And I'm just going to kind of pitch it to him just very briefly to just kind of describe what he's doing there, you know, what he feels has been the benefit, and you guys are free to ask him questions and me questions as well.
Yeah, so I'll go off about my experience. I get the ability to learn and to explore different areas of knowledge that you only see in the classroom. I get to actually experience that in real life. The ability to work with a team, and you go through different problems, you go through different situations, you go through how do we find solutions, and you just really take the knowledge that you learn in the classroom and you apply it. And that's probably been the most rewarding and the most benefiting aspect. And then also outreaching, with our technology game. I don't know anything about coding, but I'm learning that. And I don't get to, not everybody gets that opportunity. I didn't get the opportunity because I'm not a computer science major, but I get the opportunity now to learn and to advance and grow in areas that I didn't think I was going to grow in.
So that's our request and our consideration, and I am open for questions if you should have them.
Would you go over that request again?
Yes, we are, I am asking on behalf of NERPL Ventures for abatement of water, sewer, electric, and internet utilities through May of 2023, so it's roughly a period of 6 months. Then after that, they would resume as normal, but that would cover the time where they're ramping up towards manufacturing. And ultimately, the goal would be is to keep and maintain the manufacturing component for the company here in Marshall. So there's some opportunities in our industrial park area, as well as we understand there may be a new industrial park opening or land opening within Marshall as well. So this would be literally grown and then hopefully stay here, just like we've got K's Engineering. That's a great example of a place that started in someone's garage, and now look at where they're going. So we're hoping to keep our own and grow our own here.
You think this is a good way to keep some of those good MVC kids here?
Yes, absolutely. Right now they're looking for opportunities elsewhere because they don't see any opportunities here at the moment. So if you give them opportunities here, we will stay. I can guarantee you that.
This is, I know it's college students and maybe a couple college professors working on it. Is it
Correct.
through the college, or is it an independent business?
This is an independent business,
Is
but
there
it's just
investment, is there investment opportunities in this for somebody to help back this thing versus have we looked at that side of it?
To my knowledge, I believe they have a capital investor. Now, I may be speaking out of turn here, okay? So, but I believe they have a capital investor that will assist them through the manufacturing phase. They're not asking for any other, I guess, incentive at this point in time from either the city, county, or MSDC or anything. This was a first step approach, just to kind of, like I said, help them through the manufacturing process. But to answer your question, it's not a publicly traded company or anything of that nature. It's small, but I do believe.
I knew it was
Okay,
gonna be private.
sorry.
I wasn't asking about that.
Okay, sorry, but I believe they have someone that's been investing or helping them financially. Does that answer your question?
What
Yeah,
does it?
kinda. Is there opportunities
To invest?
to invest?
I'm sure I could ask. I mean,
Versus-
if you're wanting to give money to a company, I don't know if they would say no. But
Yeah.
I can't speak for them or buying them. I'm not for sure.
Well, there's several of us, I have an IT company, and I
Right.
wouldn't mind, looking at the business plan and seeing what's coming up and what's
Right.
going on, and seeing if there's an opportunity to help that out.
Awesome. Well, I would.
Versus, we'll, as far as I know, I'll have to take a little time and look at this and see
Right.
what kind of doors this opens and what that looks like for MMU. But I do think there's other opportunities out there, versus just doing this, the rest of the board can speak on this too. I'm just.
So currently,
asking
like I
a
said,
question.
you know, to answer, there are 2 professors that are involved. They have a patent pending technology. I wish I would have brought it with me. And there are currently 4 students that are directly working with us. So we've got, you know, 6 people that are involved. Yeah, and I only see it growing. Now, it does have a tangible game component to it, so I do want to make clear, like, they actually do have like a traditional, like, game board type of aspect to the business. There's also an educational component where they're looking at K through 12 opportunities. The gaming applications that are on your cell phone and other places is a piece of it too. So it's a fairly diversified gaming company, though. They've come up with their own copyrighted games. So I mean, it's, you know, think of chess or cornhole or something like that, and they're doing and building those games as well.
So the manufacturing consists of hardware?
Correct.
You're
It'll actually be
build
like
some hardware component?
right. So this
Okay.
will actually be like game boards, the patent pending design. They call it a UFO. It's a magnetic disc sort of thing that functions with the games. That would be part of the manufacturing piece. That's and frames, the frames that house part of the games.
The metal sheets and stuff like that. Coverings and making sure that we have all the designs. all
Yes,
that.
packaging, logistics would also be coming out of here.
You currently have about 6 employees, have 4 part-time or 4 college students?
4 college students and 2 professors, correct?
Okay.
It sounds like a pretty cool startup. I'd like to see a little more about it.
Absolutely.
What's the address on that again?
181 West Arrow Street, Marshall, Missouri.
You're off the square, right?
It's just off the square,
southwest
correct.
on that
Yes.
corner here.
It's an old, I think it's
Gas
service
station.
gas station, yeah,
Is that one of
garage.
the ATMs sitting?
Right,
Yeah.
correct, yes.
Exchange Bank's ATMs right there.
Exchange, yeah.
I would ask that if we could take this under advisement.
Absolutely.
And have some further discussion about it. Do we need is there anything pressing to act upon
No,
it?
absolutely not.
today?
This is just a
Yeah.
request for you all to consider. There's no urgency. I mean, this is obviously something for you guys to think about. We appreciate you just
Yeah.
considering it. So I know this is kind of a first of a request. You don't see me here often as your economic development director, but I know that between the city and MMU both, and obviously our entity, MSDC, you know, these are the opportunities that, you know, when I see them, and I think that we can all come together and help in small ways. You'll see me back hopefully more often.
Thank you. I hope so.
Yeah.
And you have my email if you wanna pass that along and.
Absolutely.
If they wanna reach out and see if we can, if I can help them out, then I definitely would be very interested in doing something like that.
I will do so.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you guys for your time. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
Thank you. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Thanks, Cindy. Thank you, Austin.
Thank you.
Well, we'll be in touch. Table the issue. There's no other discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No, motion carries. Okay, anything else? We'll into reports here. Megan, do you wanna cover everything?
I can mention just a few things. Yes, appreciate you amending the agenda so we can take a little bit more time. That proposal that was made coming in is from GBS listed there in the write-up. So, and as Jeff indicated, there's a lot to sort through, but it looks worthy enough that we need to take a little more time and do our due diligence on that, so appreciate that.
How long do you think we need to, for you to come through it? Are we gonna have to have, when do we gotta push this through by?
I realize next week's Thanksgiving. If there was an opportunity next week to have a special session, we
That's-
should
I
be
guess
able
that's
to
what I was
address
asking.
it
Let's
then.
go ahead and get that on.
Okay.
Let's not miss this
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, I think we will, you know, honestly, if they can't respond to the additional information I need by then, we need to move on anyway, so. So yeah, if you all tell us, what next week looks like for you, if it being Thanksgiving, it's not possible, we'll do it at the next meeting.
Yeah, I'd like to do it like Wednesday. I don't wanna do it on Thursday. Wednesday. Friday's pretty tough to do. A lot of people
Yeah,
leave
Yeah, we
Friday.
don't wanna interrupt anybody's holiday.
So I'd say if we can get it by Wednesday, we can, I'd say go ahead and plan it.
what does everybody
Go
else?
ahead and send it out.
I'm okay.
You good Wednesday?
Okay.
So So we can go ahead and set it up
Good
once
time
and
for
get it
you,
posted.
Steve.
It doesn't
Time
matter.
for you.
Yeah, whatever time you guys can do it. I'm not planning on working very hard Wednesday.
Be the 23rd. Is this late proposal from one of the 9 companies that had
Yes, it's
previously-
from GBS,
Okay.
and one of the things that makes it, require a little more in-depth to go through is that it is a partially self-funded model, so, which I'm sure you all are aware, it's got some different mechanisms, from a fully insured, which is what we're looking at with the Blue KC proposal, so.
Okay.
They've been around, quite a while. I know of one local customer that they've got a long-term relationship with. There may be more. So they're not, it's not as common a name as United Healthcare or Blue KC, but they're certainly not a fly-by-night, so. Okay, we'll get a time worked out Wednesday and get this matter settled then. A lot of information in there about where we're at, on that, issue. I won't spend a lot of time on. I think y'all had that in your hands for a few days, so, also a summary of, a new survey that we did of employees, just to kind of try to help us see what's most important to them on this topic, so we can try to consider that as we evaluate proposals. Other than that, I do want to mention, on page 4 in your packet, that we just got our,
Yay.
yes, yay, our new experience modification rating next year. It's gonna drop from 1.09 to 0.83.
Got below
That's,
1. Good job.
got below 1.
I think we ought to,
Nice.
I can only speak for myself. When that happens next spring, do something to, show appreciation to employees.
Definitely. Yeah, thank your employees too, 'cause that's really, really good.
Other than that, just one update on the vacancy, or upcoming vacancy, I should say, for Assistant Director in Electric Production. We are, in the process of conducting interviews for that, so. Other than that, I will be happy to answer any questions.
I'll just say I found this proposal very thorough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
I was getting ready to go the opposite way. Can you work a little harder? It looks amazing.
I can give you more. You want more?
She can, trust me.
I was kidding.
Any other questions for Megan?
Guys, seriously, congratulations on the mod rating. That is huge.
Thank you, Megan. Travis, good morning.
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 I do have an action item this morning. It's for the water treatment plant system study. It was a budgeted item this year. It's a detailed study, outlook at the water treatment plant, and basically it's gonna assist me and everything to help identify possible issues with the infrastructure up there, the different equipment and everything like that. And it gives an outside look from it, because I'm there every day and everything, and there's probably things I overlook and everything, and this would definitely help that, help our short-term budget, long-term budget, things like that, where we can make sure we have the funds available, things like that to take care of it. It's gonna be similar to some of the other departments that do this now. Be updated every 5 years or so to make sure pricing, things like that are more current, more accurate. So my recommendation would be a motion to request RFQs to provide this study at the water treatment plant.
We've done this before. When was the last time we did this?
I don't know if it's ever done.
I don't know if
been
we've
done.
ever done an overall, I look at this as kind of like a master plan. And we, in the distribution side, we've got the owner supervised plan that's done, which is similar. The the collection side, we've done the collection system flow study. Nolan's plant, when they came in on the aeration project, they looked at the whole plant. But I'm not aware of anything that we've just really sit down and analyzed everything there, put together a plan, long-term plan to maintain and move that facility forward in the best possible way. So, something Travis and I talked about. I mean, there's a lot of infrastructure up there, and I think a good plan, and I think it fits well with our cash reserve policy. It will help support that, make sure it's more accurate. I think it's a good thing, but now I don't believe we've had one done that I'm aware of in the past.
Travis, you talked to anybody who's had one done?
No, I haven't.
He did have a firm come in and go through to come up with his budget number, and I
That
think.
seems like an awful high budget.
Well, that's a budget number. It could come in lower, I think. I don't remember what we paid for the wastewater plant. It was pretty similar, I think.
Was it pretty
They come in and, it's a pretty comprehensive plan. It may take 4, 5, 6 months of work to develop this, so.
Well, it's definitely not gonna hurt to send out a request for qualification.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
that's
That's
step
just step
one,
one,
and then
so-
we can
Yeah.
come back and approve the, if we get once we select a firm, then we can get a price and bring it back to the board for approval and questions, because then we'll have the firm, that we've selected here to kind of explain to them, so.
I think it'd be a good idea, we'll see what it's gonna cost.
I do
and
too, yes. And
it's for the betterment.
I'd make that motion to request RFQs to provide a system study on our water treatment plant.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to request RFQs to provide a system study on the water treatment plant. There's no other questions. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Alright.
Opposed, motion carried.
Thank you. Don't have anything else to add other than what's in the packet. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Still moving line?
Now he's taken all he's wanted for now, unfortunately. Kind
Couple
of waiting
other
on
farmers
one
asking.
farm.
Yeah.
They still have some cattle grazing on that field, so the way they're talking, it's probably gonna be next spring before they can do it, which then I have another field that we can do, waiting on crops to get out. So,
Somebody still got crops in?
oh yeah.
Well, I think with our permit, correct me if I'm wrong, Travis, we can't spread it on frozen ground either.
Right.
So, right, with the recent weather, that's pretty much
Might be done.
done until spring, so, yeah, we just talked about it yesterday, but, we'll get some more inquiries so that,
Yeah, I've had several inquiries, so have another, farm that he's got, I think it was, what, 600 acres, possibility, so.
I think what might help, I've talked to, at our annual conference, other utilities are having issues with, their line as well. I think one of the issues is that a lot of people want it spread at a variable rate. So you'll take a field and you'll divide it up into a grid, you'll get your soil samples, and grid A may need 4 tons per acre, and grid B might need 1 ton per acre. So, I've got Nolan checking on their new truck to see if we can get something to add to that, where we can do a variable rate application. And I think that's the issue, not just here, but, when you get together at conference, sometimes everybody gets together and, talks about some of the issues they're having, and it's, not just us. I think the application rate, if we could vary that, would probably help us, get rid of the problem, so.
There's a lot of technology out there. It can be done, it's just trying to figure out with the bed that we have now, what it's gonna take. And, the people we got it from are kinda looking into it, but haven't heard anything back yet, so.
It's just part of our ongoing, we're always looking at solutions to problems. But, yeah, the line you guys have probably been by, it's a pretty good sized pile. If it snows, we could probably open a ski resort.
Anything else for Travis? Thank you, Travis. Jim, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Do have one action item in there for staffing. We've got in the budget for 2 additional people in the fiber side. We're recommending now is to make one of those a fiber tech, and we're looking at hiring somebody to be available start of spring. And then we're looking at also doing later, at the start of summer, a lower grade laborer type position, which we haven't done the job description and grade level and all that sort of stuff for that part yet. But our recommendation right now is to go ahead and create a position, authorize a position for another fiber tech in the fiber department. As you can see, we're about 6 months behind with where the conduit is, which we've been maintaining that pretty well. We're not doing too bad there. Weather will probably slow us down here a lot, but it'll slow Coleman down too. So, but with round 2, we're going to eventually have 2 conduit crews going, and so we'll need some extra help to keep up. So that's our recommendation for now. If you have any other questions.
Does temperature affect when you guys can pull and when you can? Is there a temperature range you gotta hit? for that fiber?
Blowing fiber, it shouldn't matter too much as long as there's not frozen water in the conduit, which.
Most of it's gonna have water.
Most of it's gonna have water in it, which the day before we blow, we go through and blow out as much water as we can, blow a sponge through, make sure everything's going. But as we get into frozen conduits, it's gonna be a little bit tricky. As long as the fiber's over there and it's not heated, but it's not ice cold either. It gets a little stiff when it's real cold, so it makes it hard to splice.
Like when you come off that spool and it goes straight, if it freezes and cracks that jacket or not?
It hasn't, and we haven't done any blowing in the super cold weather yet, so we don't know for sure. But as far as pulling stuff in the past, we haven't had that issue. But yeah, we haven't blown anything in the low temperatures yet. So
Yeah. I think the way our fire department's growing and all the good work we're doing out in the counties, we're gonna need more help, period. I mean, moving forward, so. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's
We
diamond
cut-
in the rough. Getting brighter every day.
Would make a motion to authorize adding one fiber optic technician position in the IT and broadband department.
Motion's been made and seconded to authorize adding one fiber optic technician position in the IT broadband department. Is there any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
thank you. Not a whole lot to add. We did finish up the 195th area. We're making progress in the Drake Road area. Probably the next few weeks we'll be out in the WW area blowing fiber and getting started out there. So, and I've been spending a good deal of time lately working on wastewater project. That's about all I've got.
I have had several calls thanking me for the fiber they got out in the county, and I told them it didn't have anything to do with me, but, so you're getting compliments on the fiber and the speed.
I think a lot of people out there are happy to get something.
They're very happy.
There's a few every once in a while get one that doesn't want to pay that extra $30 a month for 2 years. So, but
The people I've talked to
that's
said
their
they would
choice.
pay double.
Yeah.
So, it's working. They're very happy.
Just out of curiosity, do you have any comments about the presentation that was made this morning?
Nothing in particular. If you're manufacturing that kind of stuff here, it's usually easier to farm that out to China or Indonesia or something like that. But I haven't seen their plans, so I don't know much about it.
Yeah, I kind of appreciate the fact they're gonna try to do it here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, with the 3D printers and things like that, you can do a lot of stuff yourself anymore, so who knows?
Okay. Nothing else for Jim? Thank you, Jim. Doug, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. I do have a couple action items for you today. Replace a couple trucks. Both of these are budgeted items. The first one being truck 329. This is a one-ton flatbed truck that's used by our electric distribution foreman, hauling equipment, pulling trailers with equipment and tools to the job site. This truck gets used quite a bit, starting to show its age with rust, and the seats are pretty broke down, and the toolboxes are in pretty bad shape. So I'd like to get that replaced. With that, I'd like to make a motion, or recommendations for a motion to request bids for a new one-ton, four-wheel drive, cabin chassis, and a flatbed truck body.
Doug, do we predominantly use gas trucks? We don't use much diesel, do we?
This truck is currently, it's a V10. It uses a lot of gas. It has plenty of power, but it pulls, and just talking, visiting with Brian, he thought maybe this would be the direction to go with getting a diesel unit. So
Okay.
That's what we did on the 302, the truck that we're still waiting on. It's going to be a diesel, so it's pretty much the same spec for this truck.
Okay. And it is budgeted, so I would make a motion to request bids for a new one-ton, four-wheel drive cab and chassis and a flatbed truck body.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to request bids for a new one-ton, four-wheel drive cab and chassis and a flatbed truck body. If there's no other questions, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Thank you, gentlemen. The next truck is truck 318. This is it's a 2005. It's used by our master electrician. He uses this truck daily, kind of the same thing. This truck's showing a lot of age, rust and seats, and we'd like to go ahead and get that replaced. We want to replace it with a similar unit. The truck he has now is not four-wheel drive. We'd like to replace that with a four-wheel drive unit. He does respond to issues at the water plant, the wastewater plant, in all conditions, all weather conditions. So we'd like for him to be able to get around when he does. So with that, my recommendation is for a motion to request bids for a new half-ton four-wheel drive pickup.
Diesel also.
Now, this would just be a gas.
Who's diesel?
Expensive. 15.
501, I think I did see 508 something,
It ain't coming down.
I think what was purchased in the tanks over there by Carl's building is at $450, our last one.
450.
Yeah, we had to get a winter blade, put in there, so I think for what we pay is about $450. Or what was sitting there.
Use that in vehicles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that fueling station, we share that use with the city.
Okay.
It was put in and then we contributed.
Right.
Some funding to that along with the location. But I don't know what gas, I don't know where we're at gas, Spencer, but I know diesel, I think Bill sent out an email the other day, we're about $450. And that's increased over what we had in there previously.
This truck doesn't get driven very much.
In town.
Yep. Town driving is pretty tough.
What's the blue book on that? You know?
On what, the old truck?
On the old truck.
I don't have any idea. Probably not worth much. It's a Ford. Just kidding.
Yeah. You did.
That'll come back
I was
to
just
bite.
kidding.
I've got one of each.
Rust, pretty nice.
I really don't know, Steve, to tell you the truth.
It would be nice to have four-wheel drive though.
Yeah, I've talked to Pat a little bit about this, and he's had a few issues in the past trying to get around in conditions, like all weather conditions, snow and ice, and trying to get to the wastewater plant, you know,
When we had the flood.
we've had trouble.
Lift stations are really a bit hard on him when he tries to get to like South Odell or North English. He can't, he's got the top of the hill and he's walking.
I agree, it needs a four-wheel drive, I just, the seat's bad, let's replace the seat before we go to sell it. It's only got 50,000 miles on it, these trucks are going pretty good.
Well, like I said, we could hand that down to other departments that need one. But I know his truck's showing quite a bit of rust and things like that.
There be any consideration for like a mid-size, like a smaller truck, like a Ranger or something like that?
That's a good question, has he got to pull anything, or?
Yeah.
He doesn't really pull anything, he carries, you know, quite a few hand tools and stuff with him a lot, sometimes they do haul some equipment. You know, I don't know what
Guess
he
would
takes
it
down
be
to the water
possible to
plant.
go to
What's that?
four-wheel drive quarter size or anything?
Yeah, I can visit with him about it, if that's what you guys want us to go.
For no more than it's on the road.
I don't know what the price difference is between those units too, if you,
It'd be nice to find out.
between a half-ton and a, you know, just a half-ton regular cab truck or versus a smaller truck like a Ranger or something.
Colorado or Ranger,
Yeah,
yeah, something
yeah.
like that.
There's no price difference, but the fuel economy is better.
Could be. I can visit with
Just be worth it. Sharon, I mean, the thing's 16 years old with 50,000 miles, it ain't burning nothing out.
Well, he just drives it when he needs to go somewhere, you know, a lot of times.
Mhm.
He doesn't need to go, so. Waste the trips.
We'll see what's gonna cost.
Yeah.
I make a motion to request bids for a new half-ton four-wheel drive pickup.
And then can we strike that half-ton and just say for a new?
For a new four-wheel drive pickup.
And, yeah, size to be determined.
That makes sense. Doug, good with it?
Yeah.
We make that work. I make a motion to request bids for a new four-wheel drive pickup.
Second that.
Motion been made and seconded to request bids for a new four-wheel drive pickup. There's no other discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Not much else to add, Poor Boy, are quite a way through their budget. Wanna hold back a little bit for spring next summer. So they'll be here probably another 3 weeks, and then, we'll kick them out until next summer. Other than that, anything else to add, unless you have any questions for me?
Just one comment, I've noticed in the last two reports there, you said you picked up several logs left by Poor Boy Tree.
Yeah, on removals, they'll leave the logs, so if they can't chip it, and they don't have the equipment to haul it off, so we'll go back and pick up the big logs, I'm, you know, talking
Okay.
2 foot across, you know.
So
10
that was never part of their scope?
No.
It was intended we would do that, okay.
Sometimes the homeowners will want the logs for firewood, so, you know, that kind of gives a couple options there. And they can just keep on moving and trimming and then, you know, if somebody takes the wood, then nobody has to deal with it. If they don't, Tim's got the ground and they'll follow up and pick up his need.
What do we do with it?
We take it to the dump.
Landfill, the old landfill.
Got a fireplace out there for your house, don't you?
No, I don't.
Would you build a house without a fireplace?
No, I don't wanna mess with the wood.
Is there anything else with that? Doug, if you'd come up here, please. It's not very often we get to say thank you for people who not only do an outstanding job day to day, but stay here for 30 years. So it's my pleasure to congratulate you for 30 years of service. Here's a pen and a letter and a gift card saying thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, thank you.
Hope, you're round to get a 50-year.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doug. I think he's gonna get that 50-year.
Hey Doug, I'll take the paper to fill out for the taxes.
All right, I'll get it to you.
Okay.
Okay, Grant, I guess you're up.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I do have an action item this morning. This is a carryover from last year. We had this as a budget item last year. And we received, 3 different bids from one vendor that were over that budget. So we decided to, hold that back and rebid it this year. As of the time of the research was done, this budget number was more than sufficient. This saw will be used on every sewer job, water job in the street. It makes it a lot easier and makes the street cuts a lot tidier, and makes the job look more professional and smoother for traffic when the project's complete. So my recommendation is a motion to request bids for any 30-inch or 36-inch walk-behind concrete saw.
I remember this. Did we raise our budget on that?
We did. We had 18,000. Our research showed, that would get any saw we wanted, and then when the bid returned, it turned out
Wasn't gonna get us the saw.
not at all. So they came in the lower 30s. So I reached out to the only vendor that responded, and this number was what we came up with as a safe number, that we should be able to come in under.
You use a hand saw
We
now?
use a hand saw now. This has got wheels and handlebars. We typically, when it's available, we borrow the cities at the moment. This would be our own saw. The scheduling would be a lot better with our own, and we, in return for use of the saw, we buy a blade for the city every year. And I think over the years, those blades run about $1,000 a piece, and over the years, we've bought 8 or 10 of them. So, makes more sense just to own our own.
Well, then kinda have a backup for the city too, or
Yeah.
vice
Yeah.
versa. I think
Single blade, what's
It's a single blade,
the diameter of the?
30 or 36 inches. And it'll cut, that makes it cut around 14 inches deep if you need it. And that will cover 98% of the streets we have in Marshall. If you can go through on a job and cut the street first, it doesn't tear up near as much asphalt. Your street cut stays the same, it's uniform. And it makes street repair a lot easier, and a lot more professional, a lot smoother for traffic.
I see it from the safety aspect, handheld, that thing, yeah.
No, you don't bend over and hold that saw and.
your face is this far away from the saw versus 4 feet from the saw. So.
Yeah, and you're standing up, there's no straining.
I'd make a motion to request bids for new 30 or 36-inch walk-behind concrete saw.
I'd second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to request bids for a new 30 or 36-inch walk-behind concrete saw. There's no other discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. Just a couple updates. We did meet with Burns and McDonald on the flow study. A lot of good information there. We expect the final report and recommendations, and possibly they may come visit with you all themselves. Lots of good information. It was kind of rewarding to find out that we were kind of on the right path with the steps we were doing, but it also kind of showed we weren't doing enough as far as the private side, goes, and kind of identified the bigger fish in the area that we need to go after. Other than that, I don't have anything to update unless the board has any questions.
Is that on the I&I side too?
Mhm.
Okay.
They put monitors in the system, throughout the system in different locations. And, they measured rainfall, and then they measured what the flow picked up in all those areas. They nailed it, they narrowed it down to, quadrants, basically, and kind of, they rated levels, worst to least, and we got some decent rainfall in the amount, not the
one we wanted.
Not the ones we wanted, but we got some good, very good information.
So they were able to pinpoint some quadrants that needed some.
Yes.
Needed some.
Yeah, undoubtedly, there was two major ones that we found, and it shows that our cured in place program is working, but it also showed areas where we could improve.
And I'll hit a little bit on that in my section. Follow up.
Grant, has there been any follow-up with the city on their street improvement program, you know, from the council meeting?
We have exchanged, I've exchanged a list of sewer projects and water projects coming up, and as far, that's about as far as this one.
Did you exchange it with Terry, or?
Yeah, Terry and Bill both have a copy.
Okay, good, thank you. Anything else for Grant?
I said 7 fire hydrants. Is that a lot? Seems like a lot, but I don't know.
And not necessarily, some of the issues are minor, and the big issue we discovered this year is, for 20 years that I've been around this place, when you order a new fire hydrant, it comes with oil in it. But we discovered about 3 of them this year that were pretty tough to turn, and they don't ship them with oil in them anymore, we discovered, so that was some of the issues. Another just wear and tear, when you get one rattling, it won't seal, drain back. That's not a big number typically.
But these weren't all replacements, where some of it was
Just
parts.
parts, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it was just oil, some was just, shoes, stems, things like that.
So we typically, when we flush, we find little issues with them, and fix them as we go.
Yep. And we'll find them on main breaks when we high velocity flush, you know. A hydrant won't bring back, or get something in called a shoe or something.
I appreciated you having the fire department come out and helping to train them on how you'd like to have.
We got very good feedback from the
Did you
fire
get-
department.
did you? Good.
They would like to continue that, and I'm all for it, a little cross training.
Save us some trouble, couldn't it?
Save us some headaches
Yeah.
in a fire.
Yeah.
And it's not so much the opening, it's how you close them is the critical part. You have to be pretty methodical about closing them. Cause it'll slam and create a water hammer, and then things get bad. And Sheldon and I have talked with the fire chief, and we're gonna continue that.
That's a good deal. Were you all aware of that? What was going on? You might mention.
Yeah, when we did our annual flushing, each shift, one shift did not make it, but they're gonna make it up when we go back from the conversion. That shift came out and walked with our crews and operated fire hydrants with us. So we could show them how to operate one correctly, get them familiar with locations. You know, in an emergency situation, we need those guys to know exactly where they're at, and kind of went over flows with them and made, you know, that they understand the color coding, they're trained for that too, but they understand that we do paint them for those color codings. It was very good cross training, and it went well.
So I'm assuming when you close those things, you gotta be very slow.
Very slow, and the key is at the end, you can feel the fire hydrant stages, and you have to be really slow then.
Everybody go visit does hammer pretty good if you just slam it shut.
Bad things happen.
Anything else for Grant? Thank you, Grant. Carl?
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Did have a memorandum you have in front of you there added to my, board packet, which is an action item for the glass crusher. This was the second round of, we went out for bids, didn't get enough responses first time around. This time we did get, 3 responses, or actually 4, we got a no bid and 3 responses. The bid opening was Tuesday. It's a fairly easy decision on that. Looking at the prices, the 2 lower priced ones were identical piece of equipment. And, you know, as far as delivery time, I figured I wanted to add it to this just to give us a couple more weeks there on this end of it. But anytime you get to that 20 to 30 week period, I don't think they really know for sure. It's just a date they give you, but it's gonna be out there a ways. But the board had already approved this. We did go out for a grant with the Solid Waste Management District Region F, which was approved. And so MMU's responsibility for this would be 15% of the awarded bid amount. My recommendation would be for a motion to accept the bid from Compactors, Inc. of Hilton Head, South Carolina for a REM GB1 glass crusher in the amount of $16,385.
And we would only pay 15% of that, which.
It'd be around 24, 50, somewhere, yeah.
Yep.
We pay for it all, and then we'll get
And then,
reimbursed,
yeah.
But at
Yep.
the end, that would be our cost, yes.
I'd make that motion to accept the bid from Compactors Incorporated of Hilton Head, South Carolina for REM GB-1 in the amount of $16,385.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the bid from Compactors, Inc. of Hilton Head, South Carolina for REM GB1 glass crusher in the amount of $16,385. If there's no additional questions, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. Really not a lot to add there. We do have a couple holes over there at the building, one for the storm shelter, and that has been ordered and should be getting here before long. We also set the flagpole over there. Hopefully those things will be getting accomplished sometime in the near future. And other than that, I would be glad to answer. Might highlight the price of the cardboard and the paper there.
Jeez.
Dropped down to 35 on the cardboard, and the paper's still holding steady at 0. So not real good market for the recycler.
That fireplace could be burned.
But I would be glad to answer any questions if you have any.
Anything else for Carl? Thank you, Carl. Nolan, good morning.
Morning, Nolan. Some updates with what's there. Our third VFD did get pushed back a couple weeks. It's supposed to ship on the 30th now. Air's in, the blower company, and I believe it's Rockwell is there going to be there today and tomorrow to do startups on our MCCs, VFDs, blowers. The final clarifier manufacturer is back today to do the torque test on clarifier number 1, get some training on that also. Yeah, we still have some of the launder covers to clean. We've just been pressure washing those off, and it's been a little too cold this week to want to do that. On the break room, the cabinet people and beermen are supposed to actually be here today or tomorrow to finish up a couple things, cut the sink in, a little bit of plumbing, The appliances are scheduled to be delivered on Wednesday. Our spreader truck, I finally talked with several people at International, jumped through several hoops, but finally got a hold of the people that will be servicing that truck, and exchanged a bunch of pictures and information, and come to find out our truck was never part of the recall at all. But we did still have to take it to Sedalia to do some diagnostics and everything for future warranty work. But it's ready, back in service now. And since I was working on trucks, I went ahead and called Summit about the dump trucks that we had ordered back in January. And the delivery on those was 300 plus or minus days. And it sounds like we may not have them until next summer. So, just
It's a big plus, huh?
yeah, just try to make you guys aware. So that's about all I have. Unless you guys have any questions.
Got a target date yet?
Before Christmas.
All right. Be a good Christmas present.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, I need to talk with Travis and Grant after this meeting about some water usage. So, if everything holds true with these startups, it looks like maybe the week after Thanksgiving we'll start filling that basin to do some testing on diffusers and mixers and things like that. And if the last VFD gets in, everything tests right, hopefully by the week of December 12th, it looks like that will be the date that hopefully we actually start running inflowing into that basin and have it fired up. So probably mid-January for the last final, if all these other things work out well. So.
Questions for Nolan? Thank you, Nolan. Tony, good morning.
Morning. Just a few miscellaneous things there. Hoping to getting close to finishing up the interdepartment loan policy, so hoping to have a draft to you guys at the next meeting. Other than that, just working with the auditors on some outstanding items. You guys have any questions?
Joe's still doing all right?
Yeah,
Good.
doing good. Getting chauffeured by my mom, but he's doing good.
Anything for Tony?
Audit go okay, as far as you know?
Yeah. Talking with them when they were here, you'll see there I'm going through the grant stuff. I'd done one single audit when I worked for a firm, and I was always under the assumption that what qualified as single audit is if you receive the funding of more than $750,000. They're telling me that if we've spent more than $750,000, that was what triggers a single audit. So I'm kind of going through all of Jim's stuff, and because right now we're at like $775,000. Some of that we spent last fiscal year, so I'm going through all of it, trying to get it up for him. So that's taking a little time.
We did get our first reimbursement.
We did, yeah. So.
No other questions for Tony? Thank you. Jeff, you're up.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I do have one action item this morning to appoint a representative from MMU to Marshall Sling Development Corporation. I have been doing that in the past and willing to continue that if the board sees fit.
You good?
I'm all good for that.
Motion to appoint Jeff Bergstrom to represent MMU on the MSDC board effective January 1, 2023.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to appoint Jeff Bergstrom to represent MMU on the questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. I do have one update on the wastewater treatment plant flooding. We are really getting close to wrapping that up. Finishing or finalizing the last category is a category Z, which is administration. So they're reimbursing us 5% of the total project cost for our administrative costs for that. I was also informed that SEMA will be providing the remaining 10%. So with the FEMA 90%, the SEMA 10%, we will be reimbursed at 100%. That total dollar amount is $304,437.84. So we should, and we have received some of that already. I've got one more item I got I think yesterday, and I've got to sign it. They'll actually deposit that money into our account. So hopefully finalizing that. That's been a lot of work. I know Noel's done a lot of work on that. They don't just reimburse you on your word. You have to provide lots and lots of documentation.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. That documentation has to be retained for a 3-year period in case we do get audited. But it was, as you can see, is well worthwhile. The reimbursement amount we did receive for that damage. I think we were right at about $500,000, so about 66% reimbursement. The biggest part of that was the trucks. The amount we were awarded for the trucks was based on their age, which they were old, and we did replace those with new units. So I think that was probably the biggest difference between what our cost was and what we were reimbursed. But we'll get some new trucks out of it, and hopefully those will last us as long as the other ones. Moving on a little bit, as Grant had mentioned, we did meet with Burns McDonald to review the sanitary sewer flow study. They did a very good job on that. And the study was not finalized at that time. They're working on finalizing that based on input from Grant, Nolan, and myself. The areas were broke up into, I think it was it 8 different areas, and yeah, they had what the impact in that area was, or basin, 8 basins is what they refer to them at, 8 separate basins. And they had it modeled where you could tell which basin had what percentage of contribution to our I&I, which gives us really good direction on where to start. So when they finalize that, I've requested that they come to a board meeting in December and present that information to you guys. I think I&I is a big enough issue. I would really like to share what the information we received. I mean, because the board's going to be responsible for making decisions down the road to address I&I. So the more you guys know, I think it'll help do that. But I was very, very pleased with. I mean, we got a lot of information, probably more than you can comprehend. But really, really happy with that. Still waiting on a reply from USDA on our non-standard contract, whether we need approval again for the second round. I'll try to kind of push that forward. That's the last thing we're waiting on for round 2. As Tony mentioned, working to develop a capital improvement interdepartmental loan policy. We were pretty close to getting that to you guys this meeting, but we didn't want to rush it. We want to make sure what we're bringing forward. So we kind of pulled that back, and hope to get it to you at the next meeting, next month's meetings. So do have Spencer's favorite in here again, the stat sheets in our power bill. I think gas, when it was warm a week or 2 ago, what was it? It was under $2. $1.85. Now it's over $6. So you know, inverse of the temperature. And that's what's driving a lot of these market prices we're seeing. You know, summer generation, peaking generation drives natural gas prices up, and then, cold weather drives them up as well. You get moderate weather and it, stays pretty low. One thing that came out of the meeting we had at Chillicothe is MPUA is looking at maybe, because we do have a Missouri Gas Commission looking at potentially buying gas or getting a contract for all the utilities that use natural gas for generation. Right now, we do our own. We use our own marketer. Somebody, you know, another utility may use this marketer. We're trying to consolidate that, so that's kind of what we're looking into there. You know, as much as we can do to kind of manage that. I know Carl has fits sometimes with having to, you call at 2 o'clock in the morning and you're not gonna get a hold of the marketer and not make gas. You just gotta kind of use it and you know, hope you don't get penalized too much. I know there's some opportunities there where we can do that and then, you know, it's not an issue. So we're looking at possibly changing marketers and doing that through MPUA. So it's gonna be a big improvement. Don't really have much else to add. There has been updates to the peer review. Slowly but surely kind of whittling those away. Staff has made really good progress on that. But be happy to try to answer any questions the board has.
Questions for Jeff? Thank you, Jeff. I guess we're ready for cash disbursements.
I'd make that motion to approve cash disbursements as presented.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to approve cash disbursements. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, December 1st. Other than the possibility of having a special session on Wednesday. Does that fit in your holiday schedule, Mr. Murphy?
Yes, it does.
I think.
You guys have a time preference for next Wednesday?
Unless you wanna buy us lunch or something. And Don's working.
Yeah, we'll take whatever direction you give us. Lunch, donuts, or otherwise.
To me, it'd probably work just as easy at 8:30.
Okay.
Jeff, staff meetings next week, Wednesday at 8:30.
I guess that would.
We could move it to after, late
We
morning
could
or
move,
something.
we could move the staff meeting later in the morning.
8:30 or 1
Okay,
after lunch works best for me.
okay.
Makes no difference to me.
Makes no difference.
Makes no difference.
Okay, we'll put something together and get back with you.
Okay.
Okay. We still need to have an executive session for legal reasons.
Correct.
Okay. I would entertain a motion that we recess into executive session for legal reasons.
So moved.
Second? Steve Mills, aye.
Chuck Hines, aye.
Spencer Fricky, aye.
Ken Bryant, aye. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, guys.
Use a short break.
Thank you.